Hello, Sonoma County. If you're renting, you are likely missing out on the greatest wealth building tool there is, real estate. In fact, if you're renting, you may be holding yourself back from reaching a new level of wealth building through owning a home. And I'm going to dive into why you might want to second guess the renting game altogether. But first, I'm Morgan DeVincenzi with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we help people move into, out of, and all around Sonoma County every single year. So if you're thinking about making a move, trying to figure out when is the right time, should you jump into this real estate market, when is the right time to stop renting, watch this video, reach out, we'll be happy to help. I know, before we dive into why maybe you shouldn't be renting, I'm a logical person and I can absolutely admit that there is a great place for renting to be used as a tool. You first move out onto your own, probably going to be a rental situation until you're making a little bit better money in your career. That's fine. You move into a new area. You want to rent to figure out where you might want to buy, to decide maybe which city might be better, or really even which neighborhood within a city might be best suited for you for a long-term investment. Renting can be a great step to regather your financial scenario. And we've seen this with clients before that have been homeowners, decided to sell their home, use their equity to rebalance their finances, rent for a few years, and then jump back into homeownership. So renting is a great tool, but it's not a long-term solution if you're looking for building wealth in this life. In just a moment, we're going to dive into 4 different reasons you may want to rethink renting and start taking steps we can help to work towards buying your very first home and building the wealth you've been looking for. Did you know that homeowners are on average 40 times more wealthy than the average renter? That is a cold, hard fact. And what does this due to? Well, think about it this way. Every month you write your rental check to your apartment building, or maybe you rent a single family home and you send it straight to the landlord or property management company, and it buys you essentially another month in the house. And 100% of that rental payment is never to be seen again, goes to your landlord. It's paying their mortgage if they still have one on the property, and putting a profit in their pocket as well. Meanwhile, when you're a homeowner, you make your mortgage payment every month. And yes, there's interest, there's taxes, there's insurance that goes into that mortgage payment. So a portion of it goes to certain fees and costs that you won't see again. But a large chunk and majority of that payment every single month goes to paying down your mortgage loan on the property, essentially setting you up as a homeowner to own more and more of that property, which we also consider to be called building equity. The more equity you have in your home, the more wealth you have in your portfolio, and the more options you have in life to stay in that home, to sell that home, to diversify your portfolio, to buy a larger home, to buy more properties. Building equity leads to more opportunity. So renting, you're essentially throwing away a payment every single month, while homeowners are building their wealth through every mortgage payment they make. Homeowners also benefit from annual appreciation of their home value year over year. In Sonoma County, we see an average about 5% to 8% appreciation of home values just in a 12-month period. So quick example, just to kind of show you what that looks like. Thinking conservative, rocking with the 5% scenario, could be as high as 8%, which only benefits more. Say you buy a home for $500,000 here in Sonoma County. Roll with me. I am not the mathematician. That's why I'm not a lender. Imagine you buy a home for $500,000. Just about 12 months later, that same home that you bought for $500,000 is now worth $525,000. Not accounting for any updates or changes or anything that you've done to the property, just the annual appreciation based on supply and demand and the cost of living continuing to go up in Sonoma County. So if you think about it this way, as a homeowner, you reap that benefit. That extra $25,000 in that scenario now becomes part of your equity that you own in the home. And that's money that you can use in the future to move up, move out, move on with your life. Where as a renter, I know if you're a renter and you're watching this video, you can probably say, gosh, yeah, I do see home prices going up every year in my area. So in our area of Sonoma County, with that 5 to 8% annual appreciation for average home prices of $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, that essentially means that you're leaving $40,000 to $50,000 up in the air. That if you bought sooner, you could avoid paying that and you could earn that as a homeowner homeowner, or if you wait close to 12 months between now and when you buy your home, you may end up paying that $40,000 to $50,000 more just to get the same exact property. All right, so let's bust a myth here. So often we hear, I can't afford to buy a home. And while maybe for some that might be true, or maybe simply it's just not quite the right timing and you need to save a little bit more money or repair your credit or wait for that next promotion. And those are realistic scenarios. But more often than not, when we hear a potential home buyer that really would like to get into the market tell us, I can't afford to buy a house, it's not that they can't afford to buy a home, it's that they can't afford to buy their dream home this first time. Most people don't. And that's kind of an illusion that most have, is that, well, if I can't buy the home I'm gonna love for 20 years, what's the point? If you listen to my first 2 points, you'd know that once you get into home ownership, it's all about leveraging your money. You're able to make that mortgage payment every month, invest those funds into your own wealth building, and then use those funds that in maybe 3, 5, 7 years, you have enough equity between the annual appreciation we just talked about, as well as paying down that mortgage through every mortgage payment. You have enough money to then put a nice, juicy down payment on the next level home. Here in Sonoma County, we say that the average home buyer is likely to make 3 or so moves before they're settled somewhere that they're gonna live for a very long time. Getting your foot in the door is step 1, and the dream home is really just a couple steps away if you trust us in the process. All right, I said it in the beginning and I'm gonna say it again. Renting is not a long-term solution. I know you look at the market and you see the cost of a rental quite a bit lower than a comparable home being sold and taking on a mortgage for that same property. So it feels like you're getting a deal on that property if you rent it as opposed to if you buy it. Well, for the previous 3 reasons we've gone through, I think you can see that there are definitely some negatives to continuing to rent as opposed to getting into the real estate market and owning your own home. But rents are also not fixed. You may be able to rent a small single family home here in Sonoma County for $2,500, or maybe you've been renting somewhere for a while and have an even better deal than that. That feels nice on a monthly basis, but for your future benefit, it's not doing you any favors. And before you know it, that $2,500 rental payment is going to increase more often, and you're going to be paying $3,000 a month in rent, and then $3,500 in rent per month. As we see the costs of other goods and inflation going up, so does the rental market. So please don't fool yourself in thinking that, oh, well, I can afford this now, so I think I'll be fine to keep renting, where you keep shoving off the opportunity of home buying. When you own a home, you have a 30-year, or the option of, there are other mortgages out there, but most of our clients end up with a 30-year fixed mortgage. So for 30 years, if you never refinanced the home, if you never changed your loan, if you never moved from this property, you know exactly down to the penny, every single mortgage payment, the exact line, it'll never go up and never go down. Of course, the idea when you own a home is the day you purchase the home is likely going to be the highest mortgage payment you make in the life of that property. Think about it this way. Maybe in the current market right now, we're looking at 6 to 7% interest rates. We've seen lower, we've certainly seen higher. If you purchase a home and you have $4,000 mortgage, sometime in the next 12 months, the mortgage rates simmer down just a little bit more. You can refinance the existing loan that you have without paying more for the property or changing the cost of the home. You can just simply refinance the loan to a lower payment amount, and now you still have the house you love, you're still working to build your wealth through homeownership, and now your mortgage payment just got a little bit easier. Not so bad, right? So if you trust the process, over time, home ownership creates more stability than renting, especially, as I mentioned, when inflation is just going to continue driving rental prices up. Alrighty then, so there we have it. 4 different reasons why renting may be holding you back from building the wealth that I know you're looking for. I don't think a lot of people in this world grow up and work hard and save their pennies to just kind of live an average life. There's nothing wrong with an average life, but I'm sure we all want to be pretty comfortable, go on vacations, drive a newer car in a few years. What gives you that stability to be able to do that and to be able to plan for those things is homeownership. If you're thinking about buying a home, if you're trying to figure out what to do in the Sonoma County or surrounding markets, and you want some guidance on what is your scenario, what might best fit your timeline, and how can we put the puzzle pieces together to find you the right home at the right price in the right condition, we are very good at what we do, and we help first-time home buyers and new again buyers into the Sonoma County market all the time, and we hope you are next. Absolutely reach out. I'll put my information here on the screen. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Of course, if you watched all the way through the video, please hit that like button. It always helps us kind of understand what our viewers are enjoying. Hit the subscribe button so you can follow along, and the bell to be notified even when we release more helpful information about all things Sonoma County and Sonoma County real estate. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time.